greatest digital asset ever created. I'm so glad I accumulated before the space got saturated. XRP the greatest digital asset ever created. Make the haters aggravated, get the spaceship activated. XRP the greatest digital asset ever created. I'm so glad I accumulated before the space got saturated.
What's goody? What's good, everybody? I hope that you guys had an amazing Valentine's Day, amazing weekend, amazing everything. I don't waste no time. Welcome back to the channel where you get your crypto news. And today, it's a lot to unpack today. It's a lot to unpack. I'm going to just get straight into it. So, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're able to support the channel, repost the channel so I can bring and continue to bring great content to you guys. So, breaking. XRP is focused this week as investors track developments in the Ripple case. The SEC will hold a closed meeting on February the 20th. So, we're going to see what's going on. Y'all know what's been going on for the last 2 years. The SEC and XRP has had a case. And it's been going on for a very long time. So, we're just trying to make sure that this case is closed and closed indefinitely. So, they're saying they have a meeting on February the 20th. A closed meeting at that. So, we're going to see what the outcome is. I just need this to be done and over with, so our bags can grow exponentially, because it's about that time. Yeah, that's on February the 20th. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. We also got this ISO 222 tokens. If you don't know, or if you didn't know, ISO 222 tokens consist of about 8 tokens like XRP, XLM, Algorand, I'm missing XDC, and a few others. And it was supposed to launch on March the 10th of this year. So, everybody's getting excited. It's 2025 of this year. And this says that ISO 202 tokens basically has been pushed back to July the 14th, 2025. Now, mind you, if you've been in this space as long as I have, it may be longer, this has pissed you off, so I can understand, and I had to make sure that this was real. And this came out on February the 13th. This is the past several years, which is very true. Years. Federal Reserve Financial Services have worked with the industry to prepare for the implementation of the new ISO 222 message format for the firewall fund service. So you can see rescheduled service of ISO 222 implementation from March the 10th to July the 14th, 2025. And just to make sure that this was real, I went to the website to clarify, because I'm like, there is no way in hell this has been pushed back even further. I've been in this system for a very long time. So when dates come and things like that, you get excited. And to see it being pushed back, it can get I wouldn't say discouraging, but it can make you upset. Like, you gotta wait a little bit longer. But hey, this is just a little bit more time to accumulate. I'm not gonna be mad at the situation. Just time to keep building my bag. So when July the 14th does come, you never know what may possibly happen. I've had more than what I had in March. So I'm gonna just keep hope alive. I'm gonna stay hopeful. All right. So XRP fair value sits at $18,036 per discounted cash flow valuation model. So yeah, the valuation model here. So it says, let me just click on it real quick. XRP is underperformed relatively to the broader market for years. The underperformance spilled into the 2020-2021 bull market as XRP failed to even reclaim the $2 mark, much less than its 2018 all-time high. Pretty much the XRP price under suppression due to the SEC lawsuit. Yeah, and it says the valuation using the discounted cash flow model suggests that its fair market should be $18,000 per token. It is important to note that this is not a price prediction, but yet a valuation of what XRP's worth could be under real-world financial principles. Okay. pretty much they just saying after the evaluation model was, taking place, that XRP should be 18,000. And I agree. All right, so I don't like to talk about politics at all on this channel, but it's just like I have to, because some things go hand in hand with some things, and I really want you guys' opinion. I want you guys to comment below to let me know what your thoughts are, because am I going crazy, or some things just is coming like back to a full circle that I've already talked about like years ago. So you guys let me know. But not XRP, Trump, right, pretty much has said that he is going to get rid of the IRS workers. Listen to this.
Day one, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents. They hired or tried to hire 88,000 new workers to go after you, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border. I think we're going to move them to the border. Well, they're allowed to carry guns. They're so strong on guns. But these people are allowed to carry guns, so we'll probably move them to the border. Yeah. She said no tax on it. How about just no tax? Day one, I immediately...
How about just no tax? Okay. So, pretty much, Trump and Elon, because they are hand in hand, because you got to watch who is funding these presidents as well, not just who's in the seat. Okay? So, also just talking about just these Federal Reserve, these federal workers, is getting sad, because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be thousands, not even a lot. I'm talking about thousands of people with no jobs to pay their bills or anything. So listen to Peter, Dr. Peter. He has his PhD. I just want him to, he's going to discuss a little bit more in depth of this process. And there's tens of thousands of people that are going to get fired, but more to come from the USAID and the EPA to the FBI and the IRS, of just people getting laid off.
Winter has come for federal workers as they cry into their TikToks. The Wall Street Journal reports that over 75,000 federal workers have accepted Trump's severance packages, which were paused by a left-wing judge but are now back on. Now, 75,000 is just over 3% of federal workers, and it would save about $80 billion a year in salaries alone. Still, the administration had been hoping for more, given on average 62,000 federal workers retire every year anyway. Plus, 8 months was a very generous buyout offer. So why so few? Two reasons: an all-out effort by government unions to scare workers out of buyouts, claiming they're illegal or won't be honored. But the biggest reason is federal workers are grotesquely overpaid, and they have zero hope of making anywhere near that money in the real economy. So on average, federal salaries are roughly $40,000 more than the rest of us make, plus benefits that might double that. And you actually have to work in the real world. So if these guys are making $150,000 to not work from home, they've got six-figure lifestyles, seven-figure mortgages, and no private salary will cover that. Meaning they will cling on, praying union lawfare lets them squeeze another couple $100,000 from taxpayers, while complaining on TikTok about brutal Doge interviews where they're asked, what they actually do. Still, voluntary buyouts was just the first salvo to catch the low-hanging fruit. Now begins the fun part, going from carrot to stick, the mass firings that will be a whole lot less generous than 8 months severage. The administration's already sent out over 200,000 pink slips to recent probationary hires, and they're telegraphing that any federal parasite who stays will have to step up and actually do competent work, or they will be out. They'll have to come to the office 5 days a week, which is apparently traumatic, going by federal workers crying on TikTok, and they'll be subject to performance reviews, which government workers probably did not know were real. This all relies on Supreme Court decisions going back to 1926, allowing termination of federal workers for, quote, inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance.
All right, now, I don't want to get all into it because he goes on for 5 minutes. But I do want to get your guys' opinion. I do want to, hear what you guys think about this. if you have some family and friends that's working in not only the IRS, but just the government in general, because there's obviously different departments, but, you know, are their jobs in jeopardy as well? Because this is a big thing, and thousands of people will lose their jobs. And I'm saying this for a reason. I'm not saying it just because, you know, I don't like to talk about political matters on here, but this is a big toll that's going to be for everybody around the world. You know, how we run the economy, things like that. But universal basic income, I was spoken about this about 4 or 5 years ago on my channel. You guys can look back at different videos I've spoken about universal basic income and how Elon Musk has been, I wouldn't say just the ringleader, because other people have spoken about it, but he's definitely mentioned it. And if I just told you earlier, you have to watch who fund the presidential elections and things like that. Elon obviously and Trump are peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean? They're right there with each other. So I'm not too sure on how people are going to still survive in this economy if he is, you know, getting rid of thousands of workers. Where would they go? You know, will the economy even be able to suffice all of these people who are unemployed? You know, so these are just ideas. This is not a right or wrong answer, guys. I just want to hear your opinion. But Elon Musk speaks about universal basic income. And if you don't know what universal basic income is, listen to Elon Musk right now. He talks about it. I'm going to show other couple clips just so you can listen to it as well.
Fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. Okay. What to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. And
this video
I think
was
ultimately
years
we will have
ago.
to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income. I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe.
Yeah.
Because there is no job, machine, robot is taking over.
That's simply and I want to be clear that these are not things that I think that I wish would happen. These are simply things that I think probably will happen. And if my assessment is correct and they probably will happen, then we need to say, what are we going to do about it? And I think some kind of a universal basic income is going to be necessary. Now, the output of goods and services will be extremely high. So with automation, there will come abundance. There will be almost everything will get very cheap.
I hope you guys are listening.
I think the biggest. I think we'll just end up doing a universal basic income. It's going to be necessary. The harder challenge, much harder challenge, is how do people then have meaning? Like a lot of people, they derive their meaning from their employment. So if you don't have, if you're not needed, if there's not a need for your labor, what's the meaning? Do you have meaning? Do you feel useless? That's a much harder problem to deal with.
All right. So this was 8 years ago. I just want to show you guys. This was 8 years ago about this recording. And I have other recordings as well. So listen up to this. This is Andrew Yang. He mentions 5 years ago on a Joe Rogan show about universal basic income as well. And I've mentioned this years ago in my last YouTube video. You guys can check that out. I'll leave the link in the description below. And he talks about universal basic income. Listen up.
Yeah, so I've been driven to universal basic income in part because I've been looking at the numbers. The 5 most common jobs in the United States right now are administrative and clerical work, retail and sales, food service and food prep, truck driving and transportation and manufacturing. Those 5 jobs comprise about half of all American jobs. Only 32% of Americans graduate from college. So the average American is a high school grad doing one of these 5 jobs. And if you look at it, technology is already doing a number on each of these jobs. Like the first, administrative and clerical, includes call center workers, and AI is in the process of taking over that job. Retail and sales, 30% of malls are closing in the next 4 years. So the danger here is to think of it as artificial intelligence is coming. It's actually already eating up the most common jobs in our economy.
And I want to leave it at that because it is a lot to go over and discuss. But Elon Musk is you know, taking over the AI industry or realm or whatever you want to call it, because him and Donald Trump are in office, and Elon Musk owns what? Tesla, where he has robots. Okay. All right, this is Elon Musk again, but this is him on the Joe Rogan show 4 years ago. Listen up.
Yeah, I just believe, like, you know, if this is a free country, you should be, you know, allowed to do, you know, what you want, as long as it does not endanger others.
But that's the thing, right? People, this is the argument they will bring up. Like, you are endangering others. You should stay home for the people that you even if you're fine, even if you know you're going to be okay, there's certain people that will not be okay because of your actions. They might get exposed to this thing that we don't have a vaccine for, we don't have universally accepted treatment for, and then we need to. There's two arguments, right? The one argument is we need to keep going, protect the weak, protect the sick, but let's open up the economy. The other argument is stop placing money over human lives, and let's shelter in place until we come up with some sort of a decision, and let's figure out some way to develop some sort of a universal basic income plan or something like that to feed people during this time when we make this transition.
I think there's a, as I said, my opinion is if somebody wants to stay home, they should stay home. If somebody doesn't want to stay home, they should not be compelled to stay home. That's my opinion.
Do you think
if somebody doesn't like that, well, that's my opinion. This notion, though, that you can just sort of send checks out to everybody and things will be fine is not true, obviously. There's some people have this absurd view that the economy is like some magic horn of plenty. Like it just makes stuff, whatever. There's a magic horn of plenty, and the goods and services, they just come from this magic horn of plenty. And then if somebody has more stuff than somebody else, it's because they took more from this magic horn of plenty. Now let me just break it to you, the fools out there.
All right, I don't want to get all in depth with it, but I just want you guys to leave your comments. I don't want to make this video longer than what it is, but also make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys can tune in when I drop new videos. But this is Brad Garlinghouse talking about, potentially being on the Joe Rogan show. Now, this is going to be huge to the crypto community because Joe Rogan has a lot of followers. And, it's exciting because Brad Garlinghouse, we watched him in his growth of doing all these different channels. And it's exciting that he's on different podcasts. So, I hope you guys like, subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace.